Welcome to Survival Theory. I'm out in the National Forest today. I'm going to do an overnight camp. It's already below freezing. I had checked the weather and I forgot to set it for where I was going. So it's already, 5 or 6 degrees colder than I expected when I got here. But it's below freezing. It's going to get much colder. Right now I'm in this pine forest. See all that pine? It's just mostly, say 90% pine. Now deer season is over. I still see some of these markers. Probably hunters, so they can find their way back when they're hiking. This is not an official hiking trail, but during the hunting season, there's a lot of hunters that come back this way. So I'm going to pull all these off. Maybe, not right now, but maybe in a few weeks when I come back here or something. Busy. So, I kind of set my ridge height for an Adirondack shelter because I was thinking that I brought the One Wind Adirondack shelter, but I didn't. I brought the just the rectangle one for like an A-frame or a lean-to. So I'm going to lower that ridge line. So I lowered the ridge line here. There's the One Wind shelter. It's very small. The shelter is not going to keep me warm, but it's a little bit of cover. And just ran lines there. I used some stakes here, a little piece of a limb to stake the back. I went ahead and staked all these little spots there. So now I need a pile of leaves in there to protect my sleeping pad from getting punctured or anything like that. 10 minutes of battery left. Haven't even recorded anything yet. Alright, so I took a boat and decided starting a fire was the first priority because my fingers are alright when I'm doing stuff. But I took my gloves off for a few minutes to put in those stakes just so I could mess with the tiny little holes. Made it go quicker, but man, my hands got cold real fast. Nah, can't even do it with these gloves. I've got some birch bark, some shredded bamboo, and of course the Bigfoot Bushcraft fire starter. Yeah, that should be fine. Pad inflated, and I threw the wool over it to help prevent damage from sparks. And I put anything electronic not too close to the fire, but close enough where it's probably not freezing. Preserve my batteries. That's night vision, camera batteries, my cell phone. So let me throw a few more sticks on here. We'll go get some real firewood. Now this is what I was hoping to find so I can make my fire last a long time. That wood right here. It burned up in the forest fire, but most of the fat wood, the solid pine center, is still there. You can see this was where it branched out. So yeah, that's solid fat wood. It's, you know, it's all mildewy and grayed out, partially burned, but that's solid fat wood. This is pretty old. It's been sitting on this forest floor a long time. There's all kinds of little pieces like this. So I'll just gather up a bunch of these, knock off any dirt, be good to go for a while. Some of these pieces might just be regular pine that charred. Yeah, see that charred, and it's just because of the charring on the outside, it's rotting slower on the inside. That's why it's still here. But that's obviously not fat wood. But all these pieces, man, they are solid. They're like rocks. So that's what I'm looking for. So I've kept the fire going by throwing sticks on it every time I come back to camp. You know, just double finger size. At least that's what she said. Then I've got stuff by the fire to keep it warm. I'm actually placing my camera here over the fire so the heat rising up keeps this battery from dying. Now I've collected some oak. This won't burn a long time, but it's going to burn long enough to cook dinner because I want to cook over this oak. And then I've got this stash of fat wood here. I get a little bit more, and that's going to burn all night. And I found basically a whole tree of fat wood. The whole skeleton of it is fat wood right over there. So I can go over there and cut some of that if it gets to be late at night. It's just right there. But otherwise, I've been going back in there, getting the fallen trees, just picking up pieces I don't have to cut. What is that? Look. You see that? Looks like a person. Actually looks like a person. I'm gonna go check it out. So I've got a steak to cook tonight, and I found this little yo pond. It's got a good fork, stout limbs. It's straight for a pretty good ways, so that'll make a pretty good holder for the steak. So I'm just gonna cut this kind of sharp. This yo pond was already injured, so it's a good candidate. One thing I like about cold weather, you can take things that need to be refrigerated. So I got a steak here. Look at all that blood. What the heck is this anyway? It's a sirloin. 1.08 pounds. So that's pretty good. So about 17 ounces. Good sirloin steak. Yeah, this is going to be good. Yeah, I think I'll use that cross piece. The idea was to just stab it through and just kind of give it some rigidfulness. There we go. Oh, that's over a pound. I feel like I could eat 2 pounds. I'm going to let the fire die down a little bit, get some coals going, then I'll plop it over the fire. It's cold, I'm hungry, might as well just hold it over the fire. Got nothing better to do. Now I didn't bring any utensils. I have my knife. I think I'm just going to eat it like a savage. Tear it off the stick. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Mm. It's delicious. Oh, yeah. So, bon appetit. Well, that was one delicious steak. Mm. So I put 3 pieces of that fat wood on there, and that's what's burning now. I mean, it is hot, bright. That's going to burn a long time, so I did good finding that fat wood. I have no idea how cold it is, but standing around the fire, I don't wear gloves, and I just kind of forget how cold it is until I walk out there for a minute. It's the Nemo sleeping pad, insulated. An old Army wool blanket. The Get Out Gear down puffy blanket. It's still inflating. It'll inflate a little bit as the night goes. I've got a blow-up pillow. It's not insulated, but my head will be insulated. I've got long underwear, top and bottom. I think I'm going to wear that tonight. I've got some heavy-duty socks. Got one of these mask things, which I probably won't wear, but got a snake bag here that I'll fill with the clothes I take off and make a good leg pillow. And it'll take up some space down there. And then I've got a down jacket. Oh, and I forgot to mention I've got snow gloves. I call them snow gloves because you can basically go skiing with them, play in the snow. Super insulated, waterproof gloves. So I'll probably put those on my hands tonight. Save my hands and fingers. That way I can kind of leave them exposed and not worry about it. So that's the campsite from about 50 feet away. Let's go a little farther away. Alright, that's it from about 100 feet away, maybe a little bit more. It all looks the same, kinda. Look at that breath. But yeah, I'm getting some sleet. So I'm going to change clothes, throw a couple of these logs by the fire, stack some real close to me so I can just reach out and throw them in. So I changed and I'm in bed. I checked the time, it's only 8:30. That's ridiculously early. So I took off my socks. I took off my shoes. I didn't think my feet were wet, but they were from sweat. So I had to definitely change socks. I could see the steam coming off my socks. So I put on some dry ones. Feet feel a little bit cool, but probably warm up here in a second. Put on my super snow gloves and that's it. Going to bed early. See you tomorrow. Another beautiful morning. built up. Got on my backpack. Well, it's 22 degrees Fahrenheit. Feels like 9 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, it's pretty dang cold for this area. It's supposed to get even colder tomorrow or tonight or whatever. Oh, it's frozen solid. Wow. That is frozen. I am such a princess in the pea. You know, I'd get it where I thought I liked it and tinker with it for about 20 minutes. You know, like, oh, move this fold of fabric this way, do this to my hat, twinkle my toes a little bit. Then I'd sit still and go, no, I need to tweak it, and just little bitty things. The fabric touched me right here, didn't like that. So it took a while for me to get to sleep, and I woke up a few times, so probably every 2 to 2.5 hours, threw some wood on the fire. So for a gear check, you saw my bedding, you saw my clothes. So let's go over some of the other gear. I've got my canteen, complete with the cook kit and all that mess. I've got my cup. This is actually a new one. You can tell by how shiny it is. It's never been on a fire. And my clean canteen. See, that's all bedding. Let's see, on me I've got my gloves, my phone. I brought the APO 1, that Survival Lily knife. That's a good knife. Brought that today. And I've got food. Now originally I was going to eat a freeze-dried meal out here. But then I said, well, it's so cold I might as well bring something that needs to be refrigerated. So I brought that steak. that delicious sirloin steak, tender and juicy. Oh my gosh. I could have had something worse out here and it would have still tasted good, but that was primo. But I brought oatmeal, powdered milk, the Ovaltine mix, of course, a spoon. There's the freeze-dried meal. Got one of these liquid IV hydration multipliers. Got 4 hot cocos. And I've got 2 things of bacon here. I'm not going to eat them this morning. If it wasn't so cold, I would do a little experiment with them because they expired 2 years ago. That's that pre-cooked bacon that you don't have to refrigerate. It expired 2 years ago, and some of the bacon I threw out because it didn't look right. This kind of looked right, but that doesn't mean it is right. So I'll probably do something at home trying this out. Not out here, though. I'm not even that hungry. So I'm good for now. I'm thirsty. I'm going to drink a lot of water now that it's thawed out. The batteries. Got these Surviveware biodegradable wipes. There's probably like 5 or 6 in there. Yeah, but I'm not going to get out and wipe myself down right now, that's for sure. I've got one of those cool towels. Sawyer mini filter with a Canuck bag. Silky Gone Boy. Carabiner. Bigfoot Bushcraft tinder box, including the steak. The total weight of the backpack. Clean canteen full of water, all the gear, the clean canteen, the backpack, and all that is 30.2 or 30.3 pounds. So that's not bad on the weight, considering I brought a wool blanket, and I've got water in there. One way to put out a log. Well, I guess it would make more sense to let this fire die out, leave my backpack here, and just take a short hike over there to that swamp. Yeah, let's go check out that swamp. Yay, an ice sheet. So this part of the swamp is empty, dry. Even the low area over there is dry. Look at the water. Slammed all this debris against the trees. That's not sleet. Look at that. Sawdust. Pine beetles. See the sap there? Pine beetles are in that tree. And it looks like a woodpecker was taking advantage of that and going after him. Yeah, it's already dead. So the swamp gives way to all this cane growth right here. So on the way back, I actually got lost. Kind of all looks the same, and I took a gully that leads back up to camp. Turns out it wasn't the right gully. I wound up on the other side of that hill over there. So I hiked back to that cane, then found that tree as a reference, that one that's knocked down. So I got back. So I'm alive. That's why I don't like to go anywhere without my survival knife, which has a ferro rod and a few other things in it, or with it. And I always carry this in my pocket whenever I'm camping or out and about. It's kind of an EDC. Oh, dang it. I have to go get some creek water. Make sure it's completely out. And one more time. So I didn't do very much on this camping trip, other than just try to stay warm and enjoy a good dinner. I didn't use any primitive skills to build a fire. I didn't even have breakfast. I didn't build a shelter. I did learn a few things, though. Some of the things I learned, or learned more about, how to keep the batteries charged during this extreme cold weather, technical details like that. But also learned that these gloves do not touch a log to pull it or put it into the fire. They're not very heat resistant. Dang it. Oh well. But I survived. Pretty dang cold. This is extreme weather for where I am. And it'll be even more extreme tonight. But I've got to get home because I've got turtles that I can't let freeze to death. They're okay now, but you know how it is down here. It gets that cold, the power's likely to go out. And the power goes out when it's 16, 17 degrees Fahrenheit. Their heat lamps will go out and they'll freeze. So I've got to go make sure all the turtles are okay. Get it set up for when the power goes out, if it does. So do you want to see a widowmaker? No, I'm not talking about trees falling down on you. I'm talking about just a limb. Look at this piece of limb here. It is in there. Well, thanks for watching Survival Theory. Be sure to like and subscribe.